Good evening. I'm Evan Duell, co-founder and board president of Philanthropy Tank, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to Baltimore's second annual finals event. After 2 challenging years, we are thrilled to be able to bring our students back together to present in person to their philanthropist mentors. Next year, we look forward to gathering in our 3rd year in Baltimore for our first live event in person. Philanthropy Tank began in 2015. Our mission is to equip and empower the next generation of changemakers as they identify social issues that confront their local communities and develop sustainable programs and solutions to these issues. To date, over 54 student teams have been awarded over $700,000, and 2/3 of those programs are still operating since inception. This past Monday, we hosted our 7th annual finals event in Palm Beach County, and along with tonight's event, over 70 teams are likely to be awarded. We look forward to expanding Philanthropy Tank into other communities as we continue to develop the next generation of changemakers. We are grateful to all of our sponsors and annual partners. We also thank our generous investors and mentors, our student grant review committee, our coaches, and our entire Philanthropy Tank team, and of course our finalists for their passion and creativity and their care for our Baltimore community. It is now my pleasure to introduce Nikia Jones, Baltimore Philanthropy Tank's Executive Director, to introduce tonight's program.
Thanks, Evan. Tonight is the culmination of lots of hard work and tenacity for our finalists, many of which started this process last fall. They make up a very diverse cross-section of our community, representing schools and organizations from all around the city. I'm so excited that tonight they will finally be able to share their ideas for shaping Baltimore and the future. But before we get started, we have quite a few people to thank.
We are also very thankful for the support of our annual partners: Allegis, Alliance Bernstein, the Beth and David Swirno Charitable Fund, Fader Innovation Center, Footlick Family Foundation, T. Rowe Price, and Whiting Turner. Let's introduce our panel of philanthropist mentors. Kabir Goyal, Managing Partner, Brown Capital. Larry Simmons, Chair of the Parent and Community Advisory Board for Baltimore City Public Schools. Jarnell Swecker, Head of Strategic Partnerships for Milken Center for Advancing the American Dream. And CJ Thompson, CEO and founder of Capital Connoisseur. Up first in the tank, we have sibling duo Teal and Sawyer presenting their project, My Box.
Good morning. My name is Teal Ross.
And my name is Sawyer Ross, and we're the proud founders of My Box at Home. During quarantine and virtual learning, we were able to see just how much learning loss students got, as in Baltimore City, only 7% of the 3rd through 5th graders tested proficiently in math, and only 9% tested at proficient level for English language arts. We were also able to see that quarantine really created several psychological issues, such as severe anxiety and other serious mental health problems.
Online learning during the pandemic really just highlighted these pre-existing issues that come with not being able to learn in school. So this is why we created My Box at Home, which is a business that provides Title I schools with their students with curated My Boxes, which are gift boxes with educational items such as books, and then also items for enrichment and entertainment, so different journals, coloring materials, all curated to the student's age. And we also have free digital resources linked with our QR codes to provide more educational enrichment. And these boxes would be provided to students who are in quarantine at home due to the pandemic, but also students with long-term illnesses such as sickle cell anemia or childhood cancer.
And My Box is able to partner with members of our community, such as Title I schools, youth partnerships such as Charm Voices of Baltimore Youth, and local businesses such as Shenanigans Toy Store, to make sure that My Box at Home stays running smoothly and we keep everything within our own community.
We're requesting around $14,600 over 2 years so that every student possible who could need this My Box is given one within the Title I schools. And most of the funding would go towards the items within the boxes, again, such as books, journals, coloring materials, other items to reduce stress, like stress balls. And then we also have other funding that would be set aside for other bureaucratic matters, such as filing for a nonprofit application.
And our next steps for the future are to secure these Title I partnerships with the Baltimore City Public Schools, then order the items for each box, assemble these boxes, link the digital QR codes and digital resources to each box, deliver these boxes to our partner schools, and then finally, we would reevaluate My Box at Home.
Our boxes are created by Baltimore City students for Baltimore City students. Thank you for your consideration of My Box Care at Home.
Great. That was a really well thought out presentation, and kudos to you all for pivoting for your community during this important time. Curious to know, it seems like the success of this project depends on the assembly and delivery of the boxes. Can you explain a little bit more about who's doing that work?
Correct. So we would have youth volunteers come in and help assemble the boxes. We would love to have students from the target schools that we've identified to, again, give back to the community and involve the community throughout. So we would have like assembly parties and get the boxes all together. And then in terms of delivery, the schools would be in charge of delivering because, of course, we don't want to have any privacy issues when it comes to the students' addresses and all of that information. But we would provide the schools with the pre-made boxes.
Excellent. Thank you.
This is great. Very impressive presentation.
Thank you.
I think the idea is great. I think you've hit on a topic that I think is very important today, which is how do you continue learning when you're not able to do it in person and in school? I think it's a very, very thoughtful topic. It really rests a lot on what's inside those boxes. How do you continue that learning? And you say these are curated boxes. How do you curate them? What goes into that? Who do you work with to determine what's the best tools for the students?
Right, so we work with other students, see what items really are helping them. And so, for example, with our games that we have, one example of a game that we'll include in a box is called Set. And it's this academic game, but it also brings that fun, joy, so it will slow your learning loss, but still provide you with that enrichment and fun in a really difficult time for you.
And so we also would work with students from each age level to ask them, what would you want? Because obviously, we're in high school, we aren't really in tune with the 5 and 7-year-olds of today. So we would work with those students, figure out what would help them, and then we would also connect with teachers to find out where they see their students are struggling, whether that's like analysis, logic puzzles, that type of thing, to see where we could maximize the potential for enrichment.
Excellent. I can definitely see how this box of joy and learning is a great antidote during this time of COVID. I'm curious to know, you mentioned some other use cases for this box. Tell me the plans. One day, hopefully, we will have this pandemic behind us.
Yes.
Tell me the plans for this concept in those days.
Yes, so we want to target students also who are out of school for other long-term illnesses because there are still many of those, and there were students out of school before the pandemic even happened. So again, we identified illnesses such as childhood cancer, sickle cell anemia, but then also different mental health disorders or disabilities that may keep one out of school. And then those boxes would be curated towards said disorders or illnesses. And of course, we would love for this pandemic to be over, but we keep seeing spikes and waves. And every time we think that this box may not be as applicable for students during the pandemic, it is. So yes, though we do plan to extend My Box at Home through students who are suffering from other long-term illnesses.
Great, very impressive. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you so much, guys.
If you just give us a couple minutes to discuss the budget and to think about the funding, and then we'll call you back in afterwards.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Let's catch up with Teal and Sawyer while the judges deliberate.
It was a little bit stressful. They came in and definitely had a lot of good questions prepared for us, but I feel like we responded well, and we were pretty smooth with our presentation, which was also good just to look more professional as well. And they seemed to really like the idea, and they saw the need for it, which is really important in terms of getting our project out there.
Right, of course. And it kind of like, with the enthusiasm towards our project, that also, I feel like, boosted like confidence with how you answered the questions, how you presented the slides.
Yeah, once they said, like, we really loved your project, we totally identify the need, we were able to relax a little bit, like, yes, they do approve of this project and they do want to give it funding. So that was definitely a big weight lifted off of our chest.
So that was a good project. I think they're going to make a good impact on the schools. But to be honest, I was a little surprised at the unit economic cost of $25 to $30 per box. I didn't expect it to be that high, but maybe it scales down over time.
I've been a part of box assembly projects before, and surprisingly, these things add up. So I do actually think that unit cost is appropriate. I really think this is a well-thought-out plan. I think that they put a lot of detail into their budget, and I liked that they were able to explain to which level the games that they would be using and how that contributes to people advancing with their education. So I actually don't have any concerns with the budget.
I think it's pretty well thought out as well. The line items are there. I think they're going to be able to address a lot of kids' needs. I agree with you. I think it's a well thought out budget. I don't have any concerns with it either.
So my recommendation, based on them having their partnerships in line, their distribution and assembly strategy in line, I think that we should fully fund.
I agree. I thought it was a very well thought out project. I think they'll be able to accomplish what they set out to do. That's great.
I agree with you.
Up next in the tank, we have Samaya with her project, Doors to Be More.
Good morning. My name is Samaya Nelson, and I am the founder of Doors to Be More. Doors to Be More is going to be my way of bringing beauty back into Baltimore City through mural paintings. Why exactly do we need Doors to Be More? We need Doors to Be More because if you ever drove around Baltimore City, you'll see the blocks on blocks of vacant homes, and they make the city unpleasant and unwelcoming. They also bring other things like rodents and illegal activities, so I want to help change that and just make the city a brighter place. Statistically, there are over 15,000 vacant homes in Baltimore. That's a lot. So I want to help change this by partnering with communities like the Bella Edison community to help me design these murals, because you wouldn't want a random mural to pop up in your neighborhood and you not like it. I also want to use these associations to get volunteers and provide a QR code on the building so that people walking by can just give me their honest opinions on how these murals make them feel. My budget is $11,003, and most of it will be going towards things like mural paint and painting supplies. It will also go towards a projector so I can project my sketches onto the door so we can paint them easier. And I will get t-shirts and food for the volunteers at these events. I just want Doors to Be More to help make Baltimore a more beautiful place, to bring back the community, the unity, and the beauty back in the Baltimore City through my art. Thank you.
I heard that you're going to partner with different organizations in the communities. Besides Bella Edison, what are some other target areas or neighborhoods that you may have thought about?
I've also thought about the Johnson Square community, which is around my school, and partnering with like real estate people to put these murals on vacant homes.
When in your planning, what are the agencies that you might have to connect to in the city to get permission to do that work? Like you can't, like it's a great idea, right? Mm-hmm. But just like you said, you can't just roll up on people's houses. Yeah. So who do you think you need to talk to?
I think I would need to talk to like the people. I think I would need to talk to like the people in charge, like the neighborhood associations, or like if it's like the real estate people, like talk to them because, you know, they're the ones working on the houses. I'm just coming to put like murals on them.
And maybe even like trying to find out who the owners are
Yeah.
for some of those places too, right?
Another question I have is, who are your other competitors in this market? So I've actually saw a lot of vacant properties in Baltimore, and I have seen an influx in murals now taking over. So have you connected with others that may have already done this, may already have some connection with the city, so they kind of will just spearhead your efforts and maybe cut out some of the time that you may have to do some research?
No, I have not, but I will look into that.
That's good. I was thinking about that same thing. Like the city, you know, you have an eye that, you know, other folks have too, right? That, you know, the city does look kind of crazy and there's a lot of vacants. And, you know, we can sometimes do things by ourselves, but also make a really big bang sometimes. I'm thinking about the other folks. And so I know that you kind of thought about East Baltimore, right? So have you thought about, you know, are you thinking about expanding into other parts of the city?
Yes.
Yeah. And how do you think you could bring in other young people to support you? Because young people aren't a part of community associations, right? So how would you bring in like your friends and your peers? How would you loop them into it?
I've thought about starting like an art club at my school because I know it's a lot of artists there that would like to help.
That's a great idea. That's a very good idea.
While the judges deliberate, let's catch up with Samaya.
So I just did my presentation and I'm honestly feeling relieved because it's over with. And also like anxious because I don't know what they're gonna say about my project. I think the part I was most sure about is my budget because I kind of had that down and while I was doing the project.
Oh, so I think it's a really great idea that she is thinking about the art club and bringing in her peers and her colleagues into that work. Because just like CJ said, that there are a lot of folks that are doing mural work, but there's not a lot of young people doing mural work. And so that I think that it's awesome that she's thinking about her neighborhood, her community, and other young people being pulled in. I would like to see how her school would support her in that.
I think I'm a money guy, so I think her budget is reasonable. Looking at it, what she can accomplish with that budget as far as bring the city back to some type of attraction when you ride down the street. What I did like it was really good. I like the fact that she's looking to get feedback with the QR. I haven't seen that done with any murals, and I think that's a great way for community engagement, just to find out what people feel, because there are a lot of murals. And I know I walk by and I may take a picture, but who am I communicating that to? Who am I letting know the city that this is accomplishing the goal of making people feel better about the city being looking dilapidated?
Next up to present, we have the Social Cube.
Hi, my name is Ariana Hawthorne Cox. I am a senior and I attend the Baltimore City College.
Hi, my name is Kamaya Anderson. I am a freshman and I attend Catonsville High School.
And we are the proud creators of the Social Cube, along with Yasmin Carter, Nazaria Hopkins, and Mashara Watson. We have done some research to find out how many of our youth and young adults are homeless in Baltimore City. And in the school system, it says it's over 2,000. That's a lot. So that's why we created the Social Cube, to get our youth and young adults into a safe, positive, and productive space.
This program was put together by our group for ages 11 through 19 to provide necessities for food, clothing, PPE, and toiletries. Also to provide education such as mentorship, workshops, and tutoring, and also for entertainment for things like video games, movies, and TV shows.
Yeah, so along with our mentorship, we'll have a few people like the Ryan Institute, who is an educational program. They might come in and do some math tutoring with our students, depending on where they are in their educational lives. Also, we could have other people come in and talk to our youth about college, work on resumes for work, and just get to know them and try to get them in a safe environment and just talk to them and try to make them more comfortable where they are so they don't be on the streets. We have partnered with No Struggle, No Success, which is a re-entry program, a nonprofit re-entry program for youth and adults, and they are helping us recruit our youth and young adults so that we can have them for our program. They have provided us a space in their basement, which is over on Maryland Avenue. And so also for our marketing, we will be using digital marketing and posters to spread awareness and get the word of the Social Cube in Baltimore City.
We're seeking a budget of $12,000 to provide constructional work such as flooring, knocking down walls, painting them, and also for pantry supplies and grooming services such as hair, skin, nails.
So with our grooming services, and we have a barber who is willing to come in and do haircuts because some of our youth might be coming home from the families who are just getting out of jail and stuff and don't really have enough to get their lives together. So they are welcomed in our space, no matter the race, gender, whatever they go by. We are open arms to them so they can come in and feel welcome with their peers and be able to socialize and not feel scared. And again, my name is Ariana Hawthorne Cox.
And I am Kamaya Anderson.
And we are the proud creators of the Social Cube. Thank you for watching. And we are opening the floors for any questions.
Great. Ariana and Kamaya, thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation and for developing this initiative to support other youth that are in our city. I took a look at your budget and definitely understand some of the line items, specifically cosmetics. You look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
But I do see that a large portion of the funds have been allocated to rent. Can you tell me a little bit about who's responsible for the rental agreement?
So out of our budget, we would kind of give No Struggle, No Success because it's their building, so they're responsible for Wi-Fi and utilities and stuff. And because we want to have this space, we're contributing the money to them so that we can pay the rent and keep the lights on.
Very nice presentation.
Thank
Very
you.
nice
Thank
energy.
you.
Thank you for presenting this. I think it's a project that could potentially help quite a number of people. You know, one of the things that intrigues me is there's 2 of you presenting today, but I know there's 5 of you working on this project.
Yes.
All from different schools. Can you just tell us the story of how the 5 of you came together to bring this project?
Okay, so like I mentioned, No Struggle, No Success. Our parents actually are board members of No Struggle, No Success. So us as youth, we came together with an idea and we was like, we should pitch this. And we told our adult mentor, Jaquan Jenkins, and he pitched the idea to the board. So they agreed to give us the space so we can start helping our youth.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great.
Thank you.
Great. And you mentioned to start helping your youth. Can you let me know where this project is today before funding?
Right now, we have our space. Not construction work or anything. We just have our basement space. We have been getting donations with clothes, shoes, and that's about it right now.
I noticed on the budget there isn't a line item for staffing.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to need personnel for this project? Does somebody have to be in that space?
Yes,
to help
we will
people
have
that
adult supervision during all hours. It might be people from No Struggle, No Success, or people who are willing to come and just help because they want to support the youth.
So the idea is either use existing resources from No Shelter, No Success, or have volunteers.
Yes.
Okay. And you feel pretty comfortable that the resources will be adequate for the project?
Yes.
So my next question is for you, just, based on where you are right now, if you were to be funded, what is the most important thing to start with funding right away? Which item in your budget, how will you build?
The construction work, of course.
Okay.
We have a lot of patching up of holes to do. We want to break down some walls to keep it open in our space, electrical stuff. So yeah, we want to get with the construction work first.
And this property, who owns it?
No Struggle, No Success.
Okay, so it's is it their headquarters?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you'd be investing into building a stronger No Struggle, No Success with a little bit of your DNA into the
Yeah,
bottom.
so in their building, they have the main office space, and then upstairs, they have the adult closet. So we wanted to have a youth space so that all is welcome. So that's why we created the Social Cube.
Great. I can understand the energy behind that, and No Struggle, No Success seems to be an essential partner for you in this. Can you tell me a bit about the other partners that are most essential to your success?
Like I said, Learn with Ryan Institute, they are based on helping our youth with their educational stuff. So like some of the youth that are in school that are failing or not doing their best in school, they can come to our space. We have computers, we have, like I said, tutoring and stuff. So they will be a big part of helping our youth graduate and getting jobs and helping them turn their lives around as long with us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank you.
It's great for you to bring the energy here. It's a very exciting project. Can you give us a couple minutes to just deliberate about the budget?
Of course.
And then we'll come back to you with the budget.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's catch up with Ariana and Kamaya about their presentation.
I think it went really well. Hopefully they were able to, feel the passion and how we want to help our youth in Baltimore City, because like you said, there's not enough resources out here. So hopefully they really, have some type of sympathy for us. I'm just glad that it's over.
Yeah.
I'm relieved. No more stress.
Mm-hmm.
We're very grateful for anything they're willing to give us.
I love the idea of the origin of this project. I love that they're looking for a place, specifically for youth to gather, but I don't see a lot of focus on which essential services will be delivered there. And I was hoping to hear that they would like to get started more with the service delivery, that would be most important, but it sounds like the build out is most important. So I'm still just a little bit unclear on the service delivery portion.
Yeah, I agree. I think the execution after the build out of the space, I think that's going to be a challenge for them. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest parts of the project, but it's going to come after the build out. They're asking for $12,000. It's kind of hard to, I think, project past the construction phase, but what do you think we should fund them for?
Well, I think that $12,000, it's uncertain how it will all be used. I would feel comfortable around $10,000.
I'd agree with that. I think 10,000 is a good start. I think they could get most of their construction work and their rentals and their pantry supplies in for $10,000, and then we could see from there.
Hi, I'm Rick Monfred, a member of the Advisory Board for Philanthropy Baltimore. Congratulations to all of the 2022 finalists. We're so proud of you and appreciative of the great work you're doing in Baltimore City.
Thanks, Rick, for all of your support. And thank you to all of our board members, Leslie Schouler, David Spiranola, and Samantha McGrath. You too can support Philanthropy Tank and our changemakers by making a donation today at philanthropytank.org/donate. Remember, no gift is too big or too small to start major change in our city.
In the tank, we have Anaya presenting her project, Back to Work.
Hello, my name is Anaya Jones-Rich, and this is my project, Back to Work. Back to Work is important to me because of women like my mother, who may have been unemployed or underemployed. She had to work 3 jobs at once just to make ends meet, and she was also a student. She eventually got a job at Macy's, where she was giving clothing at a discount, or where she got free makeup samples that helped her recollect herself and make her think, okay, now that I have the look and I already have the skill, I can go out and get the job that I really want, that I really need to provide for my family. Did you know that 20% of women ages through 18 and 44 struggle with poverty and unemployment? 6.3 of Baltimoreans are unemployed. And did you know that people of color are 3 times more likely to be affected by poverty? Back to Work will include a full Back to Work session will include 20 women who will come out. They will all get 1 professional outfit, a full makeover, a LinkedIn profile, and a resume workshop. My budget is just above $12,000. It will be used to cover the cost of meals for events. It will be used to cover the cost of makeup kits, photographers, and a website that can be used to survey our participants. We can measure our success by surveying these women and seeing if Back to Work helped them with their confidence and if they got the jobs that they wanted or needed. We can sustain Back to Work by partnering with women-owned organizations and having clothing drives that can help push Back to Work forward. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Anaya Jones-Rich, and let's help women get back to work.
Thank you, Anaya. That was a great presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to start off with the questions?
Yes. One question I had, I believe the back to work session is impactful, where they're going to do the resume and they'll be given an outfit, is that application process. I can see a lot of women wanting to do that. How will you filter out who's going to be in that part of those groups?
I can filter it out by using the Back to Work website, as I previously mentioned. It'll be up for women to fill out an application, and I will pick the women based on who I believe needs it most, and we can always go back because there are 4 sessions. So there's a chance to help as many women as possible.
The piggyback of that, so how do you determine need? Will you determine need based off of their income, the amount of children they have? What are some of the factors? I think maybe you should think about some of the factors that you'll use to determine, as far as eligibility.
So, yeah, what is your selection criteria? So how would I know if I was a woman who needed your help? How would I know to go to your website?
Probably through advertising. I can post, or not post, but flyers in different women's shelters and transitional houses that can let them know that, hey, oh, I'm underemployed or I'm unemployed. Let me go see what this is about, because it sounds like something that I might be interested in or that I might need.
That's great.
So, and how would you find the hairstylist and the makeup artist?
I'm going to be partnering with cosmetology students who need the service hours, so it benefits both of us. They can get the service hours so they can graduate, and I have the extra help with the cosmetology and the making over process.
While the judges deliberate, let's check in with Anaya.
I think I did quite well. I talked kind of fast, I spoke kind of fast, but it's okay. It's I got everything that needed to be, I got my point across.
I think that was a great angle, the transition housing shelter. Yeah. But I'm spot on with you as far as the selection criteria. Is it a certain income? Is it what are you going to use?
And if she just,
so people don't feel discriminated.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to, and you don't want people to feel less, because she's trying to build people, right? But the way that you pick and choose can also kind of determine how that works. And so my major suggestion is really working with a mentor, or even almost creating, and I don't know if she's there yet, but maybe the mentor will help her to almost kind of create a little advisory team or advisory board, or maybe 3 or 4 women of different ages, right, to kind of help her in that selection process. And then with her website. So really, honestly, if she has a website and she does a promotion within the transitional houses, folks will self-select if they want to participate in her project or not, right? And so she might get so many people where she then later on will have to say, all right, I can only take X, Y, Z. I can only take 10.
Right. Per group. That's another thing I was thinking about. How many people you taking per session?
Kira's in the tank, ready to present her project, Patterson Rocks. Let's check it out.
Hello, my name is Kara Cairns. I am the creator of Patterson Rocks. I am a student of Patterson High School, and I am 16 years old. This club is based on art therapy, and I got this idea from my amazing mentor, Bill York. Bill York has his own organization that is focused around mental health and helping adults and teenagers get together and realize that mental health is a thing and mental health can be helped. Our mission is to create a healthy outlet for creative space, for creativity and a safe artistic freedom, and to promote self-awareness. The importance of mental health. The importance of mental health is trying to get through the day without breaking down. And I feel like that is very important, because it's okay to be sad and it's okay to have bad or negative emotions. It's okay. Everyone has them. We just need an outlet to put them in sometimes. This is a quote about how mental health can help your academic scores and academic in general. If you have better mental health, you have better academic success. Patterson Rocks offers a safe place for people's emotions, a creative outlet, and an escape. And everyone needs an escape from this place we call a world. This club is held every Thursday, every week. It starts at 4, ends at 6. We do all types of things, like do mindful moment in the beginning, get everyone all cleaned up because of COVID, of course, and start everyone off with paint, rocks, canvases, anything that they would like. Here's our budget. Supplies is $3,000. Marketing is $1,000. Food and beverage is $1,000. Guest stipend is $1,000. And rock garden is $4,000. In total, that's $10,000. Supplies is $3,000 for rocks, paint, canvases, canvas stools, anything really. Marketing is $1,000, so we can market not just at Patterson. I want to expand to community centers, other schools. Try to get this program into as many places as possible. Food and beverages to put people in a comfortable state of mind, and if they're hungry, they can have some food. Guest stipend, I want to have guests to speak about their mental health and to speak about their experiences. And rock garden, at the end of this, I want to put a rock garden out in front of our school to show our art.
Your project is tackling something that's, I think, very important, very difficult. So kudos for you for thinking about this. I think this is a fantastic idea.
Thank you.
Could I just ask, I think I understand the first part of the project, which is art therapy. I didn't quite follow so much the second part, the rock garden part. How does that work?
The rock garden is more of like, it's a part of art therapy. It's a show where you started off, like where you started off in that headspace where you didn't feel like you were enough or you didn't feel like this was good, and where you ended up where you saw the work and you saw the two difference. Like the beginning was dark or gloomy, and the end is like, oh, there's a brighter light at the tunnel.
Wonderful.
Great. I have a question, Kara. I love this project. I love that there's proactive and reactive components to supporting someone's mental health. And I'm curious to know, when you're marketing it to other schools and to other people, how do you advertise this to students, and what things would you use your marketing budget to spend towards?
For my marketing budget, I would use it to advertise it to local community centers. I have a local community center that I am talking to at this moment to get this program into their situation, because they are surrounded by a lot of teens that need help, and teens nowadays don't get as much help as they need because they feel as though they aren't worth the help. So I want to get these in local community centers because it creates a safe place and a safe place where they can just go paint, have fun, and also get the therapy that they need and deserve.
That's great. And Kira, it's so early in the project, but have you been able to find a space to do this at school yet, at Patterson? Do you have a teacher that you're working with? Do you know who's going to be supporting the project?
Yes, we have started 2 months we have been going at this club. We do it in a classroom of Bill York, my mentor. He allows us to use his classroom after school on Thursdays to paint and to use the space and to have him help certain students because of his experience and expertise.
Great. It sounds like Bill has been quite an inspiration for you.
Yes, he is amazing.
I'm curious to know the therapeutic portion of this club. How do you make sure that that stays at a high level?
By giving them, we have a stipend for therapists where they would come in and they would talk about how art therapy has either helped not one of their patients, but helped them, or give the students an idea as what has helped them personally and has helped some of their patients, and try to keep their headspace at a nice and cool and calm collected.
Well, thank you for the presentation. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
I think we'll have to deliberate a little bit about the budget, but this has been a great presentation. Thank you,
All
Kira.
right, thank you.
Thank you, Kira.
You all are amazing. Have a nice rest of your day.
So are you.
The mentors are deep in deliberation. Let's check in with Kira.
I think my presentation went very wonderful. I pitched my idea and I think they liked it, so I think I did my job correctly. I'm also excited to bring this project to the community so the community can have a safe space to put all their negative and positive emotions into art instead of putting it into something else that wouldn't be good for them.
I think she has a lot of energy. I think she has a lot of desire to bring something that's impacted her and give it to other people.
Sure. I love that it's got social components. I love that she was inspired by her mentor. I love all of the things that, made this concept come to life. Yes.
Absolutely. I think she presented a fairly nice budget as well. She's asking for $10,000. I have to say, I think that a program like this, $10,000 might be a little on the high side.
Last up in the tank are Sam and Catherine with Community Reads. Let's check it out.
Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Guerrero.
And I'm Sam Desi. We are currently juniors at Roland Park Country School. Right now we are running a project where we teach kids in grades K through 12 about diversity through literature. While attending a traditionally predominantly white all-girls school, we witnessed many accounts of purposeful and casual racism, homophobia, and transphobia. I was even bullied as my differences for a queer person in middle school, and thus I decided to team up with Catherine to start our project.
My experiences contrasted Sam's because as a cis, straight, able-bodied white woman in the upper middle class, everyone in media looks like me, so it took me years to learn about issues affecting the marginalized communities. Multiple studies have shown that K through 2nd is a critical age group in which children begin to form biases or opinions of the world around them, and literature and exposure, especially through literature, can help diminish prejudicial thoughts and encourage people to be more accepting of their own identity. Nationwide book bans, investigations of gender-affirming treatment as child abuse, Florida's Don't Say Gay bill, and increasing violence toward minorities all demonstrate the imperfections in the world that our program hopes to fix. Our program is currently broken up into 3 different parts. For the in-school program, we push into K through 2 classrooms with the book of the month, and after we do in the reading and the discussion, we leave an activity with the teachers for them to perform with their students to further engage them in the topics that we are discussing. We would also like to expand to a Saturday book club in which with a partnership that we hope to form with the Enoch Pratt Library, which will bring together kids from all over Baltimore. The final aspect of our program encourages children to diversify their reading by offering them a prize if they attend a certain number of our library readings. Currently, we have done 15 lessons across 2 schools, teaching 207 children about diversity. We have also formed a partnership with Reading Partners and the Fund for Educational Excellence, as well as the Ivy Bookshop, who have graciously donated the diverse children's books that we use in our lessons. We have also formed an advisory board made with different educators at our high school and developed a website, which I invite you to visit at www.ourcommunityreads.org.
The majority of our budget will be going towards our 501c3 status, with the rest going towards website, keep, prizes, and just daily maintenance for our project, as you can see here. Overall, we right now have a club which has 11 members at Roland Park Country School, and we have also done numerous lessons at Roland Park Country School and our nearby school, Gilman. And although we realize that this will be harder from an administrative standpoint, we hope to come across to Title I elementary schools with the help of our mentor. And we know the world will never be perfect, but our hope is that with our project, children from marginalized communities and children all over the world will become more accepting of themselves and others, and hopefully prevent some widespread homophobia, transphobia, prejudice, bullying, and harassment. Thank you guys so much.
Can you talk to me a little bit more about how do you plan to really dig into with your partnership with the fund, right? Like the fund, you mentioned Title I schools. Have you connected that? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, currently our partnership with the Fund for Educational Excellence, they act as our fiscal sponsor, which sort of gives us more of the legitimacy that we would need to be able to push into those schools. But we hope our 501c3 status will also help us do that.
Yes.
Yeah. And how do you, so with the Saturday book clubs, because the fund makes that connection to city schools, so I'm gonna tell you where my mind is, right? Is the fact, like, you guys are at Roland Park Country School, right? And so I'm just want to think about what is your relationship outside of that world, right? How do you connect to students and other spaces, right? So in city schools and maybe even parochial schools, but how do you plan on building outside?
Well, we're hoping to expand to outside of private schools. We've started with Roland Park and Gilman just because they're the schools that we
have
go
the most
to.
connections.
Yeah, and then we have connections there to start them. And there also tend to be a homogeneous population, which means they aren't exposed to diversity in their daily lives. But we do also want to diversify the participants that we're teaching to. So we want to expand to Title I elementary schools, as well as with the Saturday Book Club. We would be bringing together children from all over Baltimore.
Yeah, with help from our mentor from Philanthropy Tank.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. I appreciate that, thinking about how you push back into the space that you're already in, right? I appreciate that. You have any questions?
Yeah. I guess buy-in. What has been some of your difficulties as far as buy-in? I know one of your slides talked about, certain books being banned from certain schools and certain districts. Do you see any threats with that in the community, certain schools? Or has there been kickback as far as maybe the books just kind of being a little bit on the board of not wanting to have those conversations?
Right now with parents, we haven't had any active complaints, which is good, but I think as we expand to different states, I feel like it could get more difficult, especially as we reach more southern states with the types of stuff we're trying to talk about.
Yeah. Currently, our implementation has been through classrooms. So if the teachers don't want us to come in, they just don't say that we want us. But once we start doing it in more public spaces like the library, there might be more pushback from parents.
So tell me, how do you evaluate the effectiveness of the program? Like, how do you know that someone is better off because they participated?
Yeah, so for this, we are working on consistently getting lessons at the two schools that we're doing. But once we do, we're going to do something similar to the doll test. Do you know what that is?
I do.
So it's basically where a child is given a choice between two dolls, a white one and a black one, and they have to choose which one they would rather play with. But we're going to do something similar, but instead of dolls, it's going to be books, which book they would rather read. And we would evaluate them before, at the beginning of the year, and then again at the end of the year to see if our program has made any impact.
While the judges deliberate, let's check in with Community Reads.
I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, I think it went well.
We delivered all the points that we wanted to. We were able to answer all their questions.
So they were really very organized. Again, where that access and opportunity kind of really comes into play. I think they really want that 501c3 status. That's really what a lot of it's about. That's why the budget, I think, is kind of like that. And they've thought through it. They have a fiscal sponsor already, right? Who I would believe kind of helped them to even think through getting 501c3 status and stuff like that. But it was great. I just my concern is still how does it reach the streets? But I also appreciate the fact that they're really kind of focusing, and then I understand more, right? That they're really focusing on helping to change the minds of folks in their world. And it's with more than just race that they're speaking of, but it's also sexuality too.
Just inclusion itself.
Yeah, it's inclusion itself. So I appreciate that. And it's really the fact that they're really pushing in on their world. I still would love for them to build out and think about what that looks like in the context of a city like Baltimore and how they can really use their resources to kind of push it to some other schools. But this is a good start. I don't think that they need the $77,858 to do this, because I don't think they need all. Just looking at their budget, they don't. I don't think they need all.
I don't think that either. I agree with you. I think their biggest focus is on 501c3. That's a very nominal cost. They're already ahead of the curve by having their website already developed. The others will be starting to have those things in place. So they have a small budget for just upkeep, which is a couple $100 maybe a year.
Thank you to the Philanthropy Tank staff, Amy Brand, Corey Murphy, and Sarah Przansky. Tonight's event would not be possible without our key event sponsors. Thank you to the United Way of Central Maryland, Continental Realty Corporation, Excellence in Ambitions, Inc., CNC Advocacy, and Baltimore Magazine. We'd also like to take time to thank our philanthropist investors, the Rogers Family Foundation, and the Eric and Debbie Abel Charitable Trust.
All right, let's get back to the reason why we're all here, to see how much funding our changemakers are going to be awarded for their innovative solutions.
Teal and Sawyer, I really appreciate how you started your presentation by clearly identifying a need, and then definitely believe that you've worked out the assembly and the distribution of this initiative. I do believe the world needs more people like the two of you. I love that two siblings have come together to respond to their community at this time. And I do see this program as sustainable. You asked for $14,628, but we are not going to fund you at that amount.
Sure. We were very impressed by the budget that the two of you set forward. We're both very excited about your project. You've set out a goal to help 200 kids per year. I really hope that you get there. I think you could really make a difference in people's lives. We thought $14,628 was a fair ask, but we wanted to round it up to $14,700 actually. So congratulations. We hope you're successful over the next 2 years. At Philanthropy Tank, we do assign mentors for the students. I would like to be your mentor in the upcoming year, so I look forward to working with both of you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we really enjoyed your presentation. Kind of had some thoughts that we wanted to share with you, and then we'll move after that.
One of the good things that we talked about was the QR feedback. I think that's awesome. If you are going to move forward with the murals, I have not seen that used. I have not seen someone engage the community in their feelings about how they feel. It almost makes me think about like a whiteboard, a chalkboard, and you go in there and you say, I like this or I didn't like it. We don't have that ability. So I think even using that QR to engage the community in which the murals are in, and then maybe even partnering with City Hall in the city of Baltimore to go through the mayor's office and things like that, so that they can maybe possibly use that QR feedback to post it on the city's website and just really, highlight what's going on around the community, how it makes the community feel.
I think that it's an awesome idea. I love anything that's about beautifying our community, right? And something that we take control of. There's not somebody coming from somewhere else to do it. So when you were talking about connecting to who's doing what to kind of get that, so you would have to deal with like certain permits and things like that, right? Like you would have to go through zoning and some stuff, but we can help you with that. And I think it's a great idea to think about bringing in your friends and your colleagues to kind of support you in that. And even that when you take it a step further and creating an art club at your school, that's a way for this to go beyond the time that you have with Philanthropy Tank, right? So you're really thinking in the future, and I appreciate that. So with that, Mr. Larry, I'll be your mentor with this project, and we have decided together to give you the $11,000 that you asked for. So congratulations.
Congratulations.
Ariana Kamaya, thank you so much for your presentation. It was very well put together. I truly hope you're able to reach the students that you're trying to reach out to and help them. Kudos to you for having very well put together outfits as well. I love the matching shirts. I hope you're very successful, and we will share the budget with you.
Sure. So Ariana and Kamaya, you are inspirational change makers, and we appreciate what you are doing to create a social atmosphere for those who are most in need. We appreciate you investing in your community, so we would like to invest in you, and we would like to invest at the amount of $10,000. We believe this can get you really started, especially on the construction portion of making this space welcoming and safe for everyone.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Anaya, thank you very much for your time and your presentation. It was really, really good. You want to
Yeah, we can start. Again, thank you. Thought your presentation was very good.
Thank you.
We just had a couple thoughts and things we want you to think about moving forward, possibly. I know we mentioned selection criteria. That was huge. And just making sure that you have a very distinct way in which you want to bring people on board. You don't want people to feel discriminated or left out, so you kind of want to make it all-encompassing, where it's the same criteria every single time.
Okay.
and you might want to, like, maybe a mentor, or maybe a mentor can help you with that in the beginning, and then as you grow and go, you will create a little advisory board or steering committee to kind of help you make those kind of decisions as well, and to create an actual criteria sheet or something where people can actually see, am I eligible for this, right? Even if you are connecting, I think that's a really good idea that you said that you were thinking about connecting to like transitional housing and shelters like that, so folks can go on their own and self-select to participate in your project. I would like to tell you that we decided to give you $12,000, and I'm looking forward to seeing great things from you, expecting great things from you. Congratulations, Anaya.
Kira, we were very impressed with your project. We were able to discuss it. We want to fund your project. We think you set out very nice targets and goals. Your original project asked for $10,000. We want to fund it. We think $10,000 might be a little on the high side. We're going to start by funding it for $8,000. We think with $8,000 you should be able to accomplish what you set out to. We're very excited for that. We do like to have a mentor at Philanthropy Tank for each of the projects. I currently work with a group that's also trying to improve a public space, and here you're going to go out and create the rock garden as well. So I'd like to be your mentor for this project.
Oh, thank you so very much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're
Congratulations.
amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you so very much for everything. I loved being here, and I loved having the opportunity, and thank you for even giving me the opportunity in the first place and your precious time. Thank you so very much.
Congratulations. We loved your energy on the presentation. We hope you carry that over to the next year on the project.
Thank you for your presentation. We have just a few questions, and then we'll move on after that. Well, not questions, but just some things to kind of think about. So I'm very thankful that you are thinking in the future, thinking about what you look like, what your program looks like after this. I do want to know what you're thinking about after graduation, right? Because the juniors, and 12th grade comes, and then what do we do, right? We can talk about that, but I want you to be thinking about that, right? And then we might want to, look at your budget again, thinking about some of the different spaces where you can kind of put some funds in different places. Anything else?
No.
So, I will say that we're really thankful and appreciate your participation. We have decided to give you $7,000, and I will be your mentor. Larry Simmons will be your mentor for the time, and we'll set up some time to work and get together and work out this project.
Congratulations to all of our change makers for 2022. You guys did an outstanding job, and we can't wait to see what happens over the next year with your projects. And if you're watching and you know someone in the Baltimore area between 8th and 12th grade who would be a fantastic change maker, our applications are open for our 2023 cohort. You can find everything you need at philanthropytank.org. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
We'd like to give another thank you to our annual partners, our event sponsors, and our philanthropist investors. This event would not be possible without your contributions. Thank you to our Student Grant Review Committee, who took time out of their schedules to review and look over every application.